In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, GuMPers.
Well, hey! Oh, that's not me. That's somebody else. That's many faces. Marcus there. Just 93 to go, I think, before we complete the 100 facial European Portuguese lessons, which are coming to our website soon. Good morning to you. Hola, bom dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show. Tudo bem? Como estás? How are you? Thank you, everybody, for being here this morning. And thank you. Let me say thanks for all your contributions, whether they be in time, talent, or treasure. Hard-earned cash has been exchanged at coffee.com/GMP. It all helps, as to your wonderful contributions. 2-minute taster in from Dougie, which will climax the show with today. That's the sort of talent I'm talking about. People who take time to create things for the show, including, of course, the GuMPer gallery on the front page. Thank you, James, for your contributions to that. James, I think, might be on the road this morning and perhaps not with us this morning, but watching on replay. Maybe later on you'll see your wonderful contributions to the GuMPer gallery. Any Portuguese photography or Portugal-related photography, actually, do send it in on 913-590-303, and we'll pump it up onto the home page. Well, not the home page, actually, the GuMPer gallery page. I have reorganized the homepage of the website. Do let me know what you think. Let's have a quick look at the weather, shall we, over there at all the W's. Goodmorningportugal.com. Goodmorningportugal.com is our website, and here is the weather from that website. News and weather on one tab now. If you have a look along the top here, I've been reorganizing yesterday. Thank you, T-Duck. Talking about contribution of time, he's been poring over our website and giving me a few suggestions, for which I'm very grateful, as I will be to anyone who sends me a bit of feedback about the website. And of course, send me website. Send me feedback about the weather as well. Come on, Carl, you can do this. A little bit sleep deprived, it has to be said, this morning. Young Minnie hasn't been very well. So me and Mrs. M tag teaming through the night just to make sure she's okay. So a little bit disturbed. Talking of parental matters, we've got an unexpected item in the bagging area, so to speak, in the form of Shane Howard, who gladly joins me. I'm glad he's joining me this morning to talk about dads and dudes. This morning. Let me just put this onto the screen so you know who we're talking about. And of course, ahead of Glenda and Glenn this morning. Oh, where did your pictures go? Oh, here they are. I'm just bringing those onto the screen now. Yeah, Glenda and Glenn, those YouTube sensations in the alcove, they're joining us from around 9. Before then, look at this lovely man here, Shane Howard, and see if you can spot him in this lineup as well. That's Portugal expat dads and some dudes, which I think is a great initiative, and we'll talk to Shane about that in just a moment after we've had a quick look at the weather here. So there we go. There's your weather. Well, it's been very wet, hasn't it, one way or another in Portugal. Those big waves at Nazaré, I was watching people surfing those again, the video footage that Milan sent in that we featured on Sunday and on Monday morning. Yes, it's fair to say it's been pretty wet and wild in Nazaré, but same is true in the capital. Did you see the pictures yesterday from Lisbon of the flooding, cars underwater, where I think some of the drainage systems didn't cope too well with the sudden downpours? I spoke to Gilda last night. She was safe and well up the hill in Saldanha. But yes, some serious rainfall in the capital. T-Duck might have something to say about that this morning. However, the temperature will rise to 68 degrees in the Fahrenheit for you Americans, and Americans carefully watching, I suspect, the situation with the midterm elections. Maybe Shane will have something to say about that as well this morning. 68 then, the high in the capital. Porto 17 and rain. Coimbra, 19 the high today and a bit of rain. How's it looking then for our meetup, I wonder, in San Martino de Porto? Faro, the Algarve, where I'll be headed on Friday, meeting up in Almansil with Serenity, hosting a panel there on Friday from 11 o'clock. That's going to be great. Talking to Dr. Michael of Serenity and folks experts in the mortgage and real estate fields as well. There, hosted by me, a hosted moderated panel and a bit of a hangout afterwards in the Algarve on Friday. Looking forward to that. And the weather's looking good and sunny for that as well. So maybe see you there if you're based in the Algarve and you'd like to meet up and say hi. Braga, 16 degrees, and Rafael joined us late last night between 11 and 12. On our YouTube channel, you can see my discussion with Antonio Barbosa, the man in the Minho, about the recent comments from the Prime Minister, Antonio Costa. It was head-to-head, Antonio action last night, and Antonio was giving us his views on the golden visa, which did a lot. Although it's become controversial in recent years, it did a lot to help, certainly Lisbon and Porto, and the areas where most people live, of course, right? Porto, Lisbon, and the coast. And maybe not so much now in terms of the political sensibilities around the golden visa, but he took us back to where it began in 2012 and how much good it did for Portugal. Watch that interview in the YouTube channel, Good Morning Portugal. So let's go, shall we? Let's give him a nice round of applause. And not exactly short notice, but we've been trying to get our busy diaries together, Shane, right? And here you are this morning, joining us on the Good Morning Portugal show. Good morning and welcome to you, my friend.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, for sure.
And where are you in Portugal this morning? I'm guessing maybe in the capital?
Yeah, so I'm in Lisbon.
Oh, right, okay. And show this picture here. What a formidable bunch of gentlemen. The Dads and Some Dudes, a Portugal expat initiative. Tell us about it, if you will, please, Shane.
Yeah, so I've been in Portugal, I guess about 6 months. So I moved from Kentucky, and really this whole group or initiative, if you will, actually started by accident. We probably, I'd say 9-10 months ago, I noticed that, anybody who is looking to come to Portugal or in Portugal, you've went through some of the Facebook groups to some extent. And I noticed that a lot of the conversation, or a majority of the conversation, is kind of driven by moms or women. And I said, let me just see what kind of dads are there. I'm a networker by default, just through my professional life. And so I dropped a Zoom link into a couple of the groups and just said, hey, if any dads want to hop on, have a conversation, let's do that. And holy cow, I could not have anticipated the response. And ironically, most of the response was from the wives or girlfriends of saying, hey, can I send this to my husband? So it started, that's kind of how it started. And then I said, I don't really want to keep up with a spreadsheet and keeping up with all these people. So let me create a Facebook group really quick. It wasn't really my intention, but we did that. And now we've got a group of 170 or so dads or dudes.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
And what's the aim of the group? To bring the dads together, to network together, a bit of mutual support for the dads, but also for the kids as well.
Yeah. So what I would say is we want to be probably very different than every other expat group that exists out there, and I don't say that just to say it. We're not looking to collect a bunch of members. We want quality over quantity. And yes, a big part of, I feel blessed. I'm genuinely blessed in the 6 short months that I've been here to very much make Portugal home. Professionally, I have a lot of things going on, and it's all kind of happened organically. And I don't want this to just be a thing of, as an expat, I just come here and take, or this group, we just come here and take. We actually want to give back. So that's actually a large part of what we discuss and what we're looking to do, and roll out some different charities and some different nonprofit stuff, and just some different ways we can be here as expats, help out and to kind of pay it forward, whether it's knowledge and ideas within the entrepreneurial community or, so on.
That is fantastic. We are so on the same page. Can I introduce you then to a few of the community here who I think will be very interested in what you're saying, Shane? And I do love this, how you're positioning this. It can be quite dismal, can't it, being on social media with groups that are created just to sell stuff or to grow the biggest group, and then you lose the intimacy and the power of it there. So I really resonate with what you're saying there. Deagle's saying, "Bon dia, Carl and GuMPers, from a cold, dry 5 degrees overnight." You might want to have a look at these comments as well on the screen here, Shane. 5 degrees overnight in Belfast. Busy fortnight. Kathy's daddy still poorly in hospital. Well, love from our community to your family, Deagle. I'm sorry to hear that. But staff amazing at the hospital as ever there, right? Carl, on Monday, I got an email from Memrise. Okay, I'm going to ask Shane how his Portuguese is going in a minute. Remember, everyone was going to do 15 minutes. Hey, we conveniently forgot about that. Everyone was going to do 15 minutes of Portuguese each day. And Memrise have told you your year's subscription was up at midnight. Home Affairs, Minister of Home Affairs, quickly renewed my application. I'm guessing she lets you do all the talking when you're in Portugal there, Deagle. But keep it up, mate. I think you are the champion when it comes to 15 minutes a day. You've done 15 minutes each day in 2022, and you've done 312 of those. Not missed a day. We'll complete today's later. So, very good. Nice one, Deagle. Good man. How's your Portuguese going, Shane?
Well, it's I don't know that it's arrived on the flight yet from the States. So I'm and to give some context, academically, I was never the greatest student and have ADHD. So it will take some time in January. I plan to, now that once the kids, we've got a bit of a routine in January, I plan to start some classes and go in that route.
Well done, mate. Okay, Coach Turner's here. He's the man who helps us with our growing old disgracefully fitness with the God Squad tip of the day. Bon dia, GuMPers, normal service. There's no such thing as normal. Normal and the GuMPers do not go in the same sentence together there, but I know what you mean. Normal service is resumed today. Morning, Deagle from Coach Turner. Let's have a look at this then. God Squad tip of the day. Lie face down with your arms stretched out above your head. Pick your arms and legs up as far as you can and down again. That's like a skydive on the floor, isn't it? Of the kitchen, maybe. Repeat up to 10 times. This works your back muscles. The back muscles form an important part of the core and help balance while also protecting the spinal column. Nice work. Give that a go gently as you go, and if it hurts, stop. Bon dia, alegria, GuMPers. And T-Duck here, Shane, is the purveyor of dad jokes, which I think we should include a few of these before you go. You're with us, of course, for this first half hour. Although it might be nice, you might want to say hello to Glenn and Glenda, YouTube sensations. You might cross over at around 9 o'clock. But do you like dad jokes? Is there any dad joke training for the dads and some dudes? Maybe a weekend workshop.
Yeah. I don't know if it's. My kids would. I would like to think my kids think that I'm pretty funny and don't have any real dad jokes, but
okay. We can put that right, mate. We will put that right for you this morning. No problem with that. A bit of Portuguese for you from T-Duck. And Neblina said, "Discipio e sol apareceu." So the sun is appearing and the clouds are going. It should be a beautiful day for the meetup on the Silver Coast at San Martino de Porto. We will be at Bohemia between 1 and 3. Deep thoughts, because I know you're about this as well, Shane. I get a feeling happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close-knit family. This is very, very timely, isn't it? In another city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Robin Williams, hopefully in the same city as well. Robin Williams, of course, much missed American actor and comedian known for his improvisational skills. Portuguese saying of the day, Deus ajuda a quem cedo madruga. God helps those who wake up early. Are you an early bird, Shane? I guess you've had to be this morning.
I've had to be this morning. Normally I'm not. Normally I'm up by 9 or 9:30 because I still a lot of my work and my business still happens in the States. So, and a lot of that on the West Coast. So I have to be up for some later night evenings and phone calls and emails and things. So my wife lets me sleep in a little bit. So.
Very nice, but excellent, and brings you a nice cup of tea to rouse you, I hope, in the morning.
No, not so much.
What? Who knew? Portuguese is the 6th most spoken native language in the world, spoken in 9 countries with a total of 232 million speakers. Well, that should help if you want to find a language, buddy. My goodness, 6th most spoken native language in the world. That should help. You'd think so, wouldn't you? Okay, a few dad jokes for you, a bit of material then for you and to share with your kids maybe later today. We've got some more because I missed them yesterday. But I don't have a beer gut, says T-Duck. I have a protective covering for my rock-hard abs. Okay, feel free to use that later, Shane. I used to be a fan. Now I'm an air conditioner. That is one where your kids will just be looking at you going, oh, there he goes again, I think. And when you're making that cup of tea that we talked about, RIP boiling water, a bit of science tuition for the kids here. RIP boiling water, you will be missed. Okay, barely moved like that. Did you want to add anything there at that point?
No,
Shane?
no, no,
No,
no,
let's
no.
move on to it. Okay, good morning, everybody from Joao F. Stephen Wells is in as well. T-Duck, it was a tornado in Lisbon yesterday. Yes, with all that rain as well. And remember, says Garvo, what we said yesterday about storms. The sun is shining brightly this morning. I can get that guttering fixed now for the next... Oh, my goodness. So you've been battered in Alviagra then overnight or yesterday. Paul Richards, maybe see you in the Algarve on Friday. Greetings from the Algarve. Rained last night, but the sun is sleeping in this morning and promises to come out later. Yeah, is that what you say in the Algarve when it's not sunny? The sun is having a lie-in. Jean is in New Jersey. Hola todos, bon dia. And Marcus, the country bear, bon dia to you. In South Africa this morning, I'm sure Francis will be interested in what you're doing, Shane, and may well join up with you. Bon dia, alegria a todos. Missed you all yesterday. Work and lurk today. Short week for me. Great to be here today. Oh, and Bayrandi is in as well. Bon dia from a bright and sunny Bayrada, walking to the market for a barbecue chicken lunch with the neighbours later. There's a nice slice of Portuguese life. Good morning, Sire, from sunny Madeira. Oh, Drown, you're in Madeira. That's nice to see. Now, when Francis arrives in Portugal, Shane, he's going to be up in Porto. Does the network extend to Porto as well for what you're doing with dads and some dudes?
I think we've got a couple members, but right now, obviously, things are relatively saturated here in Lisbon. So we're just, and everybody kind of has their family life and regular life. So it's not, that's the other thing. We don't, we're not. A lot of these groups will have 3 or 4 things scheduled every week, and we're not there. I don't know that we'll ever get there. Just again, we want our connections and our time to be a bit, to be a bit more, I don't know, meaningful. And it feels like it's more meaningful if it's not every day. So,
sparing. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what would happen then at one of these meaningful meetups? What typically might go on?
Well, so typically, so that picture there was from our first official in-person get together, where we just said, hey, we've all, because it all started on Zoom. Everybody most of the people who were in the group originally were all still in the process of moving when I posted mine. So we all kind of came here at the same time. And I call the older guys in the group, the guys who've been in the group the longest, we're 9 months old, but those guys came over with us, and we all kind of came here in May or June. And then what we found is, now that we're in our world, there's some guys who've lived here for a year, 2, 3 years that had no idea all these other guys were here. They oh, I thought I was just an outlier in the process. And now we've built a bit of community. So what we typically do is we've had 2 meetups. One, we've had that meetup that's in that picture there. And just kind of got together and just let everybody meet in person, and a bunch of folks get together and have a chat and just share who they are. I knew everybody, so it was good seeing everybody connect. I mean, we've got everybody from custom jewelry designers to really big time graffiti artists to really surprisingly awesome and professional folks that have done some really cool things and worked with really big companies. And then the second meetup we had was more of a professional meetup, just so we can kind of gather everyone's skill sets, everyone's passion projects, and offer up some support professionally. And here's what's going on, and here's how we can help, and a bunch of different things. So
definitely about the mutual support and the networking. What in having the group and talking to people as the kind of the linchpin, the hub, if you like, of what's going on? What do you think are the issues then for expat dads that that you're particularly helping with and that need addressing maybe?
Well, I don't know that I wouldn't call them issues, because where we come from, or where a majority of us come from, we actually have folks in the group from all different countries. It's not just U.S. And there's issues here that, yes, there's issues, but a lot of what it is to address is just to create, a zero ego space, to come in and be yourself and share ideas and have meetups. You know, people are linking up with their families and kids and going out to dinner and create a support system that's genuine and authentic. And people who are, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'6". I got a big voice. I have a rough background. So when I know the power that I wield from a standpoint of, hey, we're not going to do these things. It's going to be more about servant leadership and giving back. And so it kind of set the tone from the early beginning that this is how we're going to do this. And, and then the rest of it is making sure, guys, one thing that doesn't get talked about, I think, enough in all of the Facebook groups, and for obvious reasons, for different reasons,
yes,
is real life still happens. As great as this place may be, and it is, we feel genuinely blessed to be here. This is certainly home. It's the best thing we've ever done for my family and moving here. That life still happens. Normal things still happen. You're going to have issues with your spouse. You and your kids are going to not see eye to eye on everything. Work problems are going to happen. You're going to get sick. Life is going to happen. So one of the things I'm a big proponent of is, mental health, and men having a place that they can share, and men having a place that they can communicate. And these things, there's mom groups all over, and those things have existed. But men just historically don't communicate and share. So sometimes we'll just randomly hit a couple guys, and we'll be down on Liberdad at night at 12:30 at night, people watching, and at one of the kiosks, just having a cold drink, just catching up and just sharing what's going on and sharing life. And it's been really interesting.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. A similar initiative. I don't necessarily want to associate you with these fellas, but come and talk a load of rubbish on the man cave, says Garvo. Vent your spleen, have a rant and a few beers. It's a bit like a padded cell, but very therapeutic. Similar wavelength there, right? And
absolutely.
That's been going on a Friday night for a couple of years now, I think. Interesting stuff with the man cave. Now, I noticed when I was trying to find out a bit more myself about Dads and Some Dudes, you seem to be involved in some interesting other work as well. Are you in the personal development field too? I saw this photo. Earth Attack, the future of work. Change is inevitable. Transformation is a choice. That is proper GuMPer talk here on Good Morning Portugal. Change is inevitable. You could apply this to migration, couldn't you? And coming to Portugal. Transformation is a choice. What's that about then, Che?
Yeah, so the gentleman in that picture, Steve Cadigan, is actually one of my dear friends, but also a client. So I am an agent to executive speakers and authors. So I help negotiate and manage their. So Steve was the first ever CHRO, Chief HR Officer for LinkedIn back when they had 400 employees, and helped them grow to 4,000 employees and all that good stuff. So he was actually just here, and we're there's some things I can't. Yes, we were doing those things, and there's some really cool stuff going on that the ink isn't dry on paperwork, as we say in the States. So there are a few things rolling out, and there's a lot of really cool stuff going on. And I will share that there are some massively amazing people in this country who are from here, who are very, very successful professionally, and that are putting together some really interesting things and want to be involved and want to hear from the expat community and want to hear who's moving here and want to bridge that gap. And it's over the next couple months I can come back on and explain and kind of and discuss a bit more things. I'm not meaning to be cryptic. It's just
I
it's all happened. It's all happening really fast. So
yes, I doorstepped you with this, didn't I? You were coming on.
Okay. It's okay. No. So that event was an event at Nova Business School. So we're working on some stuff with Nova Business School, and they're doing some really interesting stuff with the future of work to create a better world of work for our kids, and that's the speakers that I represent. A few other speakers, and that's a large part of what we do and work towards that stuff.
Tremendous. And you're bringing that to Portugal?
Well, it's already here. They've just brought me in to help, add to already the great stuff that they're doing here. Yeah, I don't. You'll learn really quick. I don't do a whole lot of self promotion. I want to see great people, that I'm around. I want to see everybody be successful and everybody win. So
Yeah, well, I get a great sense of that from what you're saying and what you're doing, and thank you for doing it. It's wonderful. And Lisbon, would you say then is a great sort of crucible backdrop context for this? I mean, it's been an amazing place, and we talked about the Golden Visa last night with Antonio Barbosa, and saying it's been transformed since 2012. It was a bit of a ghost town. Over 10 years ago, the Golden Visa has done some good stuff, and it's been a team effort, hasn't it, in transforming the capital.
Yeah.
And this whole digital nomad thing, how exciting Lisbon is. Are you excited about Lisbon and the future of Lisbon?
Pre-COVID, I traveled 150, 200 days a year professionally out of the country, out of the United States. Right. And I will tell you, I've never been to Portugal. I've been a lot of places all around the world. I've spent a lot of time. I will tell you that Lisbon, as much as I want to keep it quiet and as much as I want to keep the beautiful things right now that we have, Lisbon is a place that for so many reasons is unbelievably fantastic. And there's a new initiative. You were talking about the Golden Visa and digital nomad stuff. There is a new initiative that the city of Lisbon is rolling out called the Unicorn Factory. And what they are doing is they are investing a very large sum of money and resources into companies that are looking to grow and that are kind of already successful from an entrepreneurial standpoint, and then now hitting that next level of success to become what is called a unicorn, which is a valuation of over $1 billion and those things. And there are some really, really amazing people involved with that. We're potentially doing some work in with that as well. And just the overall sense of, you hear a lot of people talk that, they kind of hint that Lisbon in Portugal is just kind of this laid back, sleepy town. Like it's like, they kind of, breeze along. They're way ahead of what's going on. And yeah, there's some awesome. I highly even Portuguese people. If you're not aware, it's not just for the expat community. Do some research on the Unicorn Factory and what's going on, and it will pay massive ROI to the community for years and years and years and years to come.
How incredible! And presumably they launched it at Web Summit.
They did, yeah. So they actually announced it. It's kind of been, if you're in Lisbon, they're doing a lot of branding. So there's signs everywhere on every corner doing it. They've just bought over in the area called Bito. There's an old factory.
Oh, it's wonderful over there, isn't it?
Yes.
That's really the heart of it. This is in Startup Lisboa and all of that initiative.
Yeah, so they're turning this old factory into an area where there's restaurants you can go there and eat. So even if you're not even a part of the community, you can go in and grab a bite to eat and just kind of see what's going on and feel the energy. It's very much a play to continue the growth into what a lot of people call Lisbon, and that's the Silicon Valley from an innovation standpoint and entrepreneurship standpoint of Europe. And I work with a lot of governments and a lot of national governments around the world, and there's some amazing things here.
But you can imagine as well, can't you, at the meeting when they were chucking around a few ideas, and somebody said, "I've got this idea, the Unicorn Factory." That's what it's called, right? The Unicorn Factory.
Yeah.
Your original thought is, hold on a minute, do we really want people flying into Lisbon and thinking we make unicorns here? And why not? Why not? It's a mythical creature, isn't it? And of course, it is $1 billion valuation company as well. What a fantastic aspiration to have for the capital.
Yeah, it's the energy here. There is there's a lot of buzz and a lot of energy, and I've been to a lot of places, and I've spent a lot of time in a lot of places, and I'm not just saying it because I live here, and I'll be honest. There are often times when people ask me, about my experience so far, and I almost feel a little bit guilty of sharing because I know it comes off as I'm embellishing, or I know it comes off as I'm, exaggerating what it really is. But this place is, I can only speak for Lisbon. I can only speak for the community of kids and what I know. And if you've got a family and the tight knit community. I mean, I've got family. It's an amazing, amazing place. It really, really is.
true. And look, Lisbon is. Oh, good morning, Victoria, and Anna as well. See you later. And St. Catherine is with us this morning. See you later as well, Catherine. We'll pop and see you. But look at this. France is in South Africa. Lisbon is lit. So much going on there. They're the next San Francisco. Just my take. Interesting. And a question for you: can soon-to-be expat dads join your group too?
Yeah, so it's dads and dudes. So originally it started out as dads, and then we did have some gentlemen come to us and said, look, I don't have kids, but I'd love to be a part. And so absolutely, yeah, that's where the dudes part came in. Absolutely pop in, and we'd love to have you a part.
You've inspired him. Man, going to listen again. I lurked a little far away. People tune in and they're a bit distracted, halfway between work and tuning in. But you lured him completely to the screen this morning, Shane. Thank you for being here. I'm locked into the convo now. Pam's in as well. Shane, thank you so much. I do want to introduce you to some other sensational expats, if I may. Let's give them a round of applause before you go. And look, here they are. We got some great representation around the country with the expats. Glenn and Glenda, good morning to you. Glenda and Glenn, I should say, reading across from left to right. How are you this morning?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm inspired. I normally have a great time doing my own show, and that's how it should be, right? But this morning we've taken it to a new level with Shane and what he's been saying about Lisbon and dads and some dudes and this whole unicorn factory thing. So just wanted to introduce you before Shane probably goes off to get busy again and be part of that fabric of inspiration and innovation in Lisbon.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you guys. Where are you guys from in the States?
Well, different places.
I'm from Florida.
And I'm from Michigan.
Okay. My wife's from Florida. She grew up in Pensacola. So Gulf breeze, but yeah. Nice. Fantastic. Nice. Well, nice to meet you, and maybe we can chat one-on-one sometime.
Shane, I hope you'll come back. Yeah, I'm so glad you all got a chance to meet each other. I mean, we may well be in a room together at some point, maybe the Good Morning Portugal Expo or something like that, where I'm sure we'll have a Shane on a keynote, as well as you, Glenda and Glenn, as the YouTube sensations that you are. So have a great day, Shane. Thank you so much for joining us at short notice. And I hope
Thanks for having me.
Bye for now. Wow, Shane Howard, everybody. That was superb. I was going to say quite unexpected, only in the sense of the timing. I got a sense that he was a great fella and he's doing some great work. Pam's inspired to say Portugal as a whole has an air of possibility. I hope some of the expats moving over invest in businesses and create good employment opportunities to give back for the positive life experiences. I can see you both nodding there, Glenda and Glenn. Can we catch up with you here and find out what went on? You were just minding your own business, I think, weren't you? You made a video and then suddenly you're in the English-speaking Portuguese press. What happened and what was that like?
We're not sure what happened. We've had so many inquiries from friends and people wanting to know, what's it like? How did you do it? What kind of guts it took to do this? And we thought, well, we'll just, instead of telling the same story over and over again, let's just put it up on YouTube. And we've been stunned by the reaction.
It's been great. And sorry, Glenn, go on.
No, I was going to say stunned and pleased because it was Glenda's idea originally to do the YouTube channel. And I kept sort of putting it off because, well, maybe we need to do, get a good camera or microphones. And if it was up to me, we probably wouldn't have done this for another 6 months. And Glenda said, she put her foot down, and so it's time to do it.
We'd still be in pre-production.
Pre-production, exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm in a partnership, but much the same. I like to crack on with it, and I don't let the excellent spoil the good. So that would be you with it, Linda. Let's just do this thing. And what we saw was what I'm describing as a slideshow. Is that right? Was that the treatment? And again, you didn't think to yourself, right? That's it. We're gonna have to get some banners made up, and we're gonna have to go to a graphic designer. You got busy, didn't you, in Craft Corner in the house, I think.
Yes, and my son made huge fun of us for that. And old school flashcards. Yes, I just took a magic marker and some poster board, and away we went. That's
the way to do it. And are we allowed a rerun of that this morning?
Sure.
Yay! Fantastic. Here we go. Okay. And it was great. Okay, all right. So you are a two-person full-on production team, multimedia show. Can we treat the Good Morning Portugal audience to this morning, then, please?
Sure.
Of course.
Okay.
So the theme of our original channel was the 5 scary things about moving to Portugal.
Yeah.
And we started at number 5, which was
all right.
stuff.
So I'm going to give you full screen for this. Okay. I'm still here, but I think you deserve to be on the full screen for this. Take it away.
Okay. So number 5 is stuff. And I know for me, that was one of the biggest things about moving to Portugal, because a lot of us are defined by our stuff. That's what makes a home, you know, your books and your artwork, and almost all of that is now in storage. But as Glenda said, once you get here, you can just get a lot of native stuff and rebrand yourself and rebrand your home.
Well, the good news too about in Portugal is when you buy a home, typically it comes with everything inside of it. So, you know, although I miss my, you know, special pampered chef garlic press, there was one in the drawer. But so, you know, we were really lucky, I think, here, unlike in the US, when you buy a place, you have all your stuff ready to certainly live day to day. And, you know, little by little, we're going to suitcase by suitcase. My son's coming next week and he's going to bring us more stuff, but truthfully, we don't really miss it.
Stuff then, and what can I pry and ask what your son is bringing? I mean, you look like you've got a lovely home there. The garlic press thankfully was in the drawer. It's fairly well specified. Which bit of the Algarve have you ended up in?
We're in Budenj, and we live in a development called Santo Antonio, and it's right on a golf course, and the scenery, the views are amazing. And in our particular home, we can see the beautiful landscape all the way out to the ocean.
It's stunning. We're about 15-20 minutes from Lagos. So we go into town all the time. Glenn plays tennis a few times a week there, and it's a beautiful life.
Yes, yeah, I got a sense of that from watching your video. And what have you asked your son to bring? Can I be nosy?
So I bought him the cheapest giant purple suitcase they had on Amazon. So he's going to be very humiliated dragging that on the train to Lisbon. But he is actually this weekend going to the storage unit, and we're going to FaceTime. And I have a list I've numbered all the boxes. I'm crazy like that. And we're going to go through every box, and I'm going to see how much he can stuff in that purple suitcase.
Oh, that's wonderful. Could you not get him a unicorn suitcase or a leopard print or something like that? Next time.
No, it wasn't big enough. I really would have liked to have gotten a lovely unicorn or some nice balloons and a clown, but I couldn't pull it off.
Oh, bless him. So he's bringing a few things.
Yeah, so he'll bring an installation of stuff. And it's always fun. It's like Christmas when a suitcase comes with stuff.
The purple suitcase. It might become a thing, mightn't it? Or it might get given to somebody else now to go back to America and just keep toing and froing with important goodies like peanut butter and maple syrup.
I made my friends bring toilet cleaner actually when they came out. So it's just those little things that you miss.
I would have liked to have been at customs for that. Did you pack this yourself? Yes. Can I ask why you have toilet cleaner inside your luggage? Glenda, why did you ask? Why is it a special kind of toilet cleaner that you can't get in Portugal?
Yes, you can find almost everything here, but these cool little tabs, so you don't have to stick your hand in the toilet. You just put it on the stick, and it just cleans the toilet, and then it's disposable. So yes, each of my friends, 4 of them came, and one of them had the stick, and the others all had the refills.
Glenda, is there still enough room in the purple suitcase for the rest of us to get some of these newfangled toilet cleaners, please?
Actually, I should probably start a business and import
them. I think you could. We got lazy people wanting lazy boys here, and now toilet cleaner, I think.
Absolutely.
Household tips coming in. Pato is the best toilet cleaner, of course. That's Mr. Duck, isn't it, there in Portuguese?
Pato is duck, right? So yes, thank you. Right. We appreciate that, Thunder Duck.
All right. It's the least we can do for you. So that's stuff then, isn't it, at number 5? We're doing the big countdown of the issues that you can face coming to Portugal. Back to you. Yes. Quality of life. Here we go. Go on.
So this has a lot to do with familiarity, and this is one of the things that I really noticed about being here. it's just a complete different landscape when you're driving down the street. Instead of seeing strip malls, you're seeing this beautiful landscape. But when you're back home in the States, you have the convenience, like if I want to go to a restaurant or a movie, all of these things are familiar. You know, you can just get on the road and see these things. Whereas when you're in a foreign country, it's a lot different, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. But the quality of life itself is so incredible here. It's a completely different frame of mind.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing, you know, day to day, we all know it, but it's hard to describe to somebody who doesn't live here.
Yeah.
The magic, the beauty, the sheer beauty every day of waking up in this environment. It's incredible. You know, and a lot of Americans, frankly, question, and we got a little bit of feedback on the channel about, you know, what do you think we're cavemen? You know, about the kind of third world. Do they have flushing toilets, for God's sakes? You know, in a lot of ways, in a lot of ways, you know, the internet, the technology, in some ways, it's better here. So I think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding, I think, in the U.S. about Europe in general, but certainly about Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because in some ways, in those kind of functional ways of everyday things, I think what you're saying there, Glenn, is that you kind of got it figured out in America in many ways, haven't you? Everything's it's about convenience, isn't it? Everything is figured out. You know,
Exactly.
and if you're lucky enough to be able to enjoy those facilities, it's all laid out for you, isn't it? And very much, you know, you can get a great car, you get a great highway, great shopping mall, and everything is laid out for life to be smooth and easy, right? And it's not quite the same here in that way, is it? Maybe there's a different ethic or a different principle at work. What do you think that might be that's underlying this great quality of life that you're enjoying here that differs from the United States?
I think there's a difference in this sort of, nobody here's an overachiever, you know, that drive, that business is life, or certainly that was my life, right, before retirement. And, you know, here there's a sense of enjoying life and enjoying each other. The quality of life here is just lovely.
Yeah,
Different?
No, I totally agree. It's like on Sundays, we're not used to the restaurants being closed, but if we go like into the town of Buda itself, you see families getting together for Sunday lunch, and there's a little square. There are different families in the square, and it's the quality of life, I think, is directly connected to a mindset, which is a lot different. I think it's how things used to be where we're from, but not so much anymore.
Very interesting. Yeah. Okay. So perhaps instead of the guiding feature being achievement and convenience, it's a little bit more humane and family oriented, community oriented, which you seem to be enjoying. And yeah, great to hear about the Unicorn Project, says Ian. This is obviously when Shane was on. Scale up help is sorely lacking in most countries, and we're doing it here in Portugal. And I think that connects with what you're talking about there. If you could have a sense, you know, in the entrepreneurial departments, a sense of expansion and excitement, and still maintain that family and community atmosphere or quality. Wouldn't that be an amazing hybrid and combination to have as a country?
That sort of leads to our next one about boredom. So, you know, one thing that people ask us all the time is, what do you do? What do you do every day? And Glenn's good at this response.
Well, even before we came here, I started researching places to play tennis. And I was wondering how I would fit in, because not necessarily speaking Portuguese.
Yeah.
I was looking up what are, you know, how do I say 40 love in Portuguese? And the first group that I played with, the organizer is German. There are people from South Africa, from England, and it's really a melting pot. And English happens to be the common language.
Yeah. Okay. I want to ask you about this boredom thing. Sorry, Glenda, go on.
No, that's all right. I was just going to elaborate about the boredom thing. So, you know, I think especially since Glenn is still working a few days a week remotely, and I'm retired. So certainly my friends that knew me and the, you know, go constant personality that I am were like, well, my God, what are you going to do now over there? You don't know anybody. You know, you don't have anything to do. You're not working anymore. And the truth is, you know, Glenn says that I think that every day we wonder how we're going to fit everything in.
Right.
There's so much to do here. Yeah,
So
certainly the weather's conducive to it, but there's so many activities. Certainly in the Algarve, I read the paper every day, which I'm going to start writing an article for based on our YouTube channel. They asked me to write a monthly article about our experiences here
fantastic. So you
Portugal.
really will.
Isn't that
You are
fun?
just, yeah, it's amazing. So you are going to struggle to fit everything in. And this boredom thing is complete nonsense then.
Yes,
It's absurd. Yeah, it's absurd. We just we've made so many friends, and people are so social here.
Wow.
Let's get together. Let's go out to eat. Let's do this and that. And plus, we joined a social club, the Casa Social Club, which now suddenly I'm a part of. Organizing, and they've been around for 40 years. They have dinners and lunches, and we won the road rally. We have a trophy. It's a blast here. There's always something fun to do.
Right.
That is amazing. That is amazing. We must get the details for that for our Portugal meetups. Because we're chronicling or listing all the meetups around the country, and that obviously is a very important one. But you're telling me then that some people, when you told them your plans, they were afraid that you might be moving to a country without flushing toilets, and you would be bored out of your brains. Is that right?
Pretty much. Yeah. They thought. Well, I think friends, especially Americans, I have to say, and I don't want to slam Americans.
No, but that's the ticket.
But Americans don't spend a lot of time in Europe. It's a long flight over a very big piece of water, and people don't really understand the lifestyle here, and they can't fathom how any American would up and move that far and just leave all those amenities and all that convenience. And it is tough to leave friends and family. That was the one point we couldn't refute.
Yes.
But it's everything else. Life is better here. It's incredible. It's magical. We say we're living a storybook life, and we really are.
Yeah.
And how did you know this? Because what I haven't asked you is how you got to be here in the first place. Did you always have a sense that it would be like this? And you from your sort of intuitive selves, what was it that didn't have you thinking that same thing? Like, no, we're not going to Europe because we do like our flushing toilets and we don't want to be bored. So we thought, how is it that you were different and you made that jump?
Well, Thursday, the article comes out where I talk about how in the
Oh,
paper.
all right, sorry. You've got to buy the paper to find out. That's only fair.
Exactly. I got to plug that. But no, I would push it a little bit. But the truth is, I was a huge traveler, and all my life, and then for work, I traveled quite a bit. But I always was in love with Europe, and I always thought I wanted to live a different kind of lifestyle after I retired. And I did my research, which is the funny part that's in the paper, and my son and I did some wild travels from Panama to Spain to all these places and testing retirement. And once I hit Portugal, I had 5 countries that I thought I'm gonna test. Portugal was number 4. I never went on to number 5.
Wow. What were the first 3? Panama's in there. It often is, isn't it, as a comparison?
Panama, which Malta. Panama defies description. Malta was on there, and I love Malta, but I thought I'd get island fever after a while living on Malta, beautiful though it was. South of Spain, Costa del Sol. I thought, this is it. It was lovely. And I'll go to Portugal, and then if necessary, I'll buzz back over to where I think I'm going to end up, the Costa del Sol. And then once I ended up in Portugal, it was like, I don't need to go anywhere else. This is truly
amazing.
You have that. It's like walking into a home you want to buy, and you feel that connection.
Yeah,
I felt it here.
And sorry, number 5 that you never got to go to. Can I ask where that was?
5 was the one we couldn't refute. 5 was
5 was what place?
Oh, I'm sorry, the number 5th place. I thought you were asking me about our 5 things. The 5th place I never got to was Costa Rica.
Was it really? Wow. Sorry, Costa Rica. That's incredible, isn't it? I'm not fans of Panama then. You didn't have you're not Panamas of Panama.
No, Panama was how shall I say it? There were expats communities that were as described, that were beautiful and fabulous. And I write in the article, all they needed was a moat and crocodiles, because they surrounded themselves with fences and guards who were, shaking down the locals trying to visit. So other than, I didn't want to live in a guarded enclave.
Good for you.
And,
Good for you.
feel like I was this princess on a hill and no one could get to me. I want to be part of the community, and we feel like we're very much not here.
Well said, well said. And Pam's saying travel broad. Certainly, I'm sure we'd all agree here. Travel broadens the mind. People who've never traveled tend to be set in their ways. Not my wonderful guest this morning, YouTube sensations, Glenda and Glenn, we've got to number 2, I think, haven't we? in your?
Oh, we're done. We went through boredom. We're all the way to speaking Portuguese. Yes, yes.
Speaking
Speaking number
Portuguese.
2.
There it is.
Speaking
We're loving the
Portuguese.
slideshow. Okay, how's that going?
It's going tough, to be honest. I started my journey to learn the language about a year ago, and I started with italki, and it was really rough because, actually, we had the professora experience first. What nice gentleman that I play tennis with recommended professora that he used to learn Portuguese, and we went to her apartment, and within about 10 minutes, I knew that wasn't going to work out. Portuguese is, Glenda and I, first of all, we speak a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah.
And that is almost a hindrance because Portuguese is a little bit similar, but far enough where it can mess you up if you know Spanish because your brain is trying to go in one direction and you're learning in a different direction. And the O's are pronounced oo. So once you get past certain fundamentals, then it begins to get a little bit easier. And that's about the stage where I am right now.
Wow. And did you get to find out what 40 love was?
No, I never did.
Do you know what went through my mind when you said that? I was thinking, okay, so there's Glenn at the tennis club, and he's shouting out 40 love, and it's coming out as 40 lovers, right? And I'm thinking, wow, here's a frisky new member of the tennis club. That could go horribly wrong, couldn't it? I think some of the tennis love all. That'd be another one, wouldn't it? It's like, but this is right back to the 60s here. So, well, good luck with that. What about you, Glenda? What about your grasp of the Portuguese?
Oh, my adventure in Portuguese is to listen to Glenn, try to study it. I do my best. The truth is, you get beyond the phrases, especially in the Algarve. And when you speak to people and you try to order something, they're going to come back because they want to practice their English. I will say it's tough to practice here because everyone speaks English and everyone wants to speak English. The only people who speak Portuguese to, we have a wonderful repair guy who comes to the house. And somehow we make it known between sign language and charades and Portuguese and English and Spanish.
A little bit of Spanish,
we figure it all out, and somehow it works. People are lovely and they help you, so it's not hard.
That's a key kind of takeaway, isn't it, or realization we have here, is people are trying to help you to make things work out, and that tends to be the trajectory and the path of life in Portugal, doesn't it? Fantastic. Okay, so number 1 then, if you will. Number 1.
As I said, the one, if I can find it here, the one we couldn't refute.
Yeah.
Family and friends.
Yeah.
So these are the 5 big challenges, and number 1, it is a difficult one. I don't know what strategies you're coming up to manage it. You can't overcome it, but I guess you can manage it. Tell us what you're thinking about this.
So it's so tough for Americans. A lot of the Brits who are here don't understand how easy it is for you guys to go back to the UK.
You're right.
And the kids come and visit. And for us, that's major. I think I've been really lucky. I've had a group of friends come out. We've had people visit, but it's such a major undertaking for Americans that they're not going to come every year. They're not going to come every 2 years. It's really tough. It's a lot of money and it's a lot of time, and people just can't do it. So you have to come up with a mindset and figure out how to manage that in your family and friends. And look, we're lucky enough. I just have the one son, and we talk frankly more now. He's traveling a lot for work, so he'll call me. And WhatsApp is a lifesaver. So WhatsApp has become how I communicate with friends and family back in the States. But other than that, you have to figure it out. We go back once a year is the plan. And hopefully people come to visit us because we do things like this and tell them how amazing it is. And we're hoping eventually that all our friends wise up and move out here with us.
Yes, which becomes a problem in its own right, I think, doesn't it? If you're never alone anymore because you've always got guests. All your guests think they're the only guest, don't they? But they may be one of a whole stream. And I do meet at our meetup that we have. It's like, how are you doing this week? Oh, we've just sent some guests home, and it's like this is the third party of people coming. It was especially so during the summer, of course, where people are group after group are coming to stay with people, which is lovely, of course. But it can also be quite challenging and tiring because you're having to pick a tourist guide as well for all these people who come out. We've got a few questions for you. Let's talk a bit more about this because I think it is important. We'll come back to family and friends and missing people because I think it's important to develop strategies around that. It is a bit, probably, as you say, I think the biggest challenge. Jeff Jackson, good evening, Jeff. Well, missed you last evening is what I meant to say. Oh, that's what confused me there. I hope we can connect up soon, Jeff, but sorry not to see you last night. Bon dia, great to see Shane on the show today. Yes, what a star he is. And at 6'6", as he said, and with his imposing presence there, Gary says the Wild West is the man cave could do with a lawman. At 6'6", Shane kind of wouldn't get any aggro from me, not from anyone else. Or they given it's like a Zoom call, they probably would try their luck, knowing that they were safely kilometers away from Shane there. I guess it's Budange, is that right? Where you live, from Antonio F, our Portuguese friend here this morning.
Yes, Budange, Vila de Bispo.
What a lovely part of the world that is. Incredible. West
It really
Algarve.
is.
Wow, says Pam. Where did you find a place with all the stuff included? So I think Pam thinks that's a little bit unusual for a house that comes with its own garlic press. What was your process for finding somewhere?
Oh, that's coming up. Yeah, that was quite a journey. So we knew we wanted the Algarve, and we weren't sure where in the Algarve. So we, from Tavira all the way in the east, we came all the way to the west, and we realized we fell in love with the Lagos area. Yes. And then from there, we branched out. We thought we didn't want to live right in Lagos. And so we started to look for homes in the area and ended up, and it's not unusual to find a place here, certainly in the Algarve, with all the stuff included, because it's people rent the places. So they have to, we have towels, and we had all the sheets and bedding for all the rooms, and all the kitchen equipment was here because renting is so common here.
And like Glenda was saying earlier, when it's like when you find a house, you fall in love, and that's exactly what happened, because the development where we're in, Parque de Floresta, wasn't even on our radar, but we were just wide open. And when literally the moment we saw this place, we knew this was it.
How lovely, how lovely. And I think there's another little point in there, isn't there, to not be too fixed on the outcome. Because it's quite good, isn't it, to be a little bit open-minded and be prepared to go off-piste here in Portugal. If your requirements are a little bit too rigid and specific, that could lead to disappointment, right?
Right.
Oh, I think we're about to do a whole episode on buying a home here because it's so different than in the U.S. So wildly different. It's hard to even describe. In the U.S., you have an agent that works just for you, and that doesn't exist here. So you have to basically find your own house and negotiate your own home, and then figure out all the other, red tape steps to do it. It was a journey.
Excellent. And this is really helpful that this service you're providing from your own experience. What is the name of your YouTube channel so that people can subscribe?
The Glenn and Glenda Show.
Of course it is. Okay, and we're having a little taste of it here this morning. I'm so grateful to you both. Doug, who introduced us, Bon dia from Cartera this morning, he's on tour. We got a 2-minute taster from him. He's a real star, isn't he, Doug?
Bon dia, Doug.
Hey, Doug. Now I said, are you joining us or not this morning, Doug? And he did prophesy that there might not be a good enough connection, and he was absolutely right. Rubbish Wi-Fi, he says. Eating hotel cheese and drinking hotel coffee. Help, he says. I don't know what we can do.
Over.
There's an SOS. Yeah, you can have a nice breakfast over with Glenn and Glenda if you can make your way over there this morning. Antonio, bon dia to Doug from Antonio. There you go, Doug, to cheer you up. And yes, this the purple suitcase phenomenon. It reminds me that my dad used to give me a list of stuff to buy whenever I visited them in Belgium. This is the thing, isn't it, for people missing some of those creature comforts and having friends bring them over. I've got some of those toilet cleaners. You can get them here in Portugal. This is what you're going to find, isn't it? Room for something else.
Everywhere. We need to know where.
Please, you can't just say that and not say where you get them from, can you? That would be unfair. It's true.
Don't tease me, Pam.
Come on, Pam. Don't do that. It's true. When I moved into my house, all I had to do was sweep and clean. We had all the essentials plus loads more. Yeah, and when you buy a house with a cellar, you get a lot of unexpected items, I think, that people think to themselves, they might need that one day. You can see movies for €3 at the moment. How about that? Have you been to the movie theater, as you Americans might say?
Yes, we've been to the movies and we loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's more. I'm sorry.
No, carry on.
It's more a treat to do that. Whereas when we were in the States, it was more of a regular thing and something that you kind of take for granted.
Yeah, indeed. And people may worry, of course, as well as the flushing toilets and the boredom, that they might have to sit through a Portuguese movie, or an American movie that's been dubbed into Portuguese. That only happens with the children's films, I think, right?
Yes. It's amazing. And I think that was a big surprise here because traveling to other countries, they all dub them. And in Portugal, it's in English.
Right.
Yeah, with Portuguese subtitles, right? So you can get to learn. You can learn as you watch, which is a great thing. Thunder Duck, of course, you would choose Pato, W.C. Pato, which sounds like a famous poet, doesn't it? W.C. Pato, the complete works of W.C. Pato. We'll touch on those this morning. I've looked at houses, however, where they took everything, including electrical switches and light fittings. So maybe that will be in your video as well. There.
Wow.
There are 2 lawmen in the man cave. We just let people hang themselves and don't mute them. Yes, that is what goes on. Friday night tonight, if you've got a strong enough constitution for that, the man cave will be on, I think, from 10 o'clock. And Pam again. Sorry, I missed this. Pato rules. Quite the Pato uprising this morning. I'd really encourage anyone to take the time to learn Portuguese. It's an essential part of becoming integrated into Portugal. Not essential for holiday or expat lifestyle. It is a choice. It's true. And well said.
Agree.
Yeah, of course we would all agree with that.
Yeah,
for sure. Hey guys, you're near Tiago's restaurant in Burgal. He is fantastic. Have you been to that restaurant?
I have been pushing for us to go for the longest time, so that is definitely on the agenda.
Yes, we're going.
Yeah. Zeferino, isn't that's right? I think Tiago Zeferino Club Nautique, possibly, but he cooks in a little club there, doesn't he, in Burgal? And I think it's an amazing experience. Some of the friends of some of the GuMPers here in this community have been along to Tiago's restaurant. So yeah, you're looking a bit quizzy.
There's a Tiago's in Budenge that we're talking about. I don't know about one in Burgal. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
it's another one to add to your list. We interviewed him one morning, and he is a wonderful gentleman, a great chef, and inspired by the family fishing tradition in Burgal. So you'll have a lovely time in Burgal as well. That might be a little way from you, but there you go. Paul, have we got some more details on that? Have you got a link for us, please? Have a great day, GuMPers. We're leaving now to run some errands and then up to San Martino for the meetup. See you there. See you there later, T-Duck. Oh, look at this.
All right.
Sorry, can't remember.
What a horrible way to end the show.
That's terrible, isn't it? Yeah, but we'll get Dougie. Let's get Doug through on a voice call. We'll give you a call, Doug, and Toilet Duck rather than Thunder Duck. Yeah, don't go in. If you go into a Portuguese shop and ask for Thunder Duck, goodness only knows what you'll get. So let's see if we can. Let's surprise Doug now with a call, shall we? There we go.
Oh, yeah.
There he is, Dougie. Oh, Glenn's got to go. Doug.
Glenn has to exit.
Oh, okay. See you later, Glenn. Thank you very much. Oh, of course. It's 9:30, isn't it? Are you happy to stay for a little bit longer, Glenda?
Yeah, I can stay on.
Okay, all right.
It's the Glenda show at the moment.
Doug's rustling around. Cheers, Glenn. And Doug's rustling around in the background. What's going on? What's the cheese and coffee like this morning, Doug? Beer.
Horrible.
Okay.
No, not very good. You know the plastic stuff you get in the hotel and the flavour, the jam that doesn't taste of anything.
Oh dear, that's what you're having this morning, is it? A bit of a letdown. Well, Doug, thank you so much for introducing this community to Glenn and Glenda here, and it's been a delight chatting to them so far. We want to come back to the family and friends thing because I think that is a key issue for a lot of people. What are you up to, Doug, in Portugal at the moment?
Yeah, currently I'm in Corteira, which is a slightly drizzly morning today, but it's been beautiful up to now. So life's good here in Corteira.
And what do you got planned?
Not a lot. I'm going to go down to Lagoa sometime this afternoon and down to Cabrera probably, but not a great deal.
Well, you're a seasoned traveller to Portugal, of course, and that's why we love talking to you. To those people new to Corteira, what would you recommend if they're in that part of the Algarve?
Just basically it's a much bigger town than you'd think. Villamora and Cortera sort of blend into one another. It's one big sprawl, really. Cortera has, of course, a fabulous beach, but so does Villamora. Once you go the other side of the famous marina, of course, a huge, massive, beautiful beach. So basically, if you're in Cortera, just follow your nose and you'll find all sorts of wonderful things.
Excellent. And what else have you got on your itinerary while you're here, Doug?
Oh, generally, I'm here for a few weeks now, so just sort of take every day as it comes and enjoy life in Portugal, like the rest of you guys.
Absolutely. So we look forward to sharing your 2-minute taster that you produced for us, I think yesterday evening. So thank you for that, Doug. I think I'm gonna let you go because it's quite loud and we can't hear Glenda so well with you there. But did you want
no
to
problem.
Say,
so hello to Glenda,
yes.
and wonderful to watch Glenn and Glenda. It's been an inspiration.
And thank you for connecting us. Have a great day, Doug. Bon dia.
Thanks, Doug.
Will do. Cheers. Ta-ra for now.
Cheers. And we feel sorry for Doug this morning, who's eating hotel cheese, individually wrapped hotel cheese there this morning. This thing then, Glenda, if we can keep you a little bit longer, and the strategies for staying in touch with family and friends back at home, it's a big deal, isn't it?
It's a huge deal. And thank God for technology being what it is now, right? Because the family and friends thing is much easier than it would have been even a decade ago. But so Zoom is a part of my life now. I have Zoom calls a couple times a week with friends. As I said, WhatsApp, which before I came to Europe, I didn't even know what WhatsApp was. Nobody in the United States uses it. So I had to not only use it myself, but I had to get all my friends to load the app and figure out WhatsApp. So they all have now, and that's wonderful. It's obviously free. So we talk quite often, and the quality is really good. As I said before, people don't expect it in the US. They think it's, oh my God, you're going to be, like the Telegraph or something, grainy and terrible. And it's just like you and I speaking right now. So I do a lot of Zoom, a lot of WhatsApp, and a lot of dealing with the time change, because obviously it's extreme for us.
Yeah. Tell us more about what is that like, and how do you manage that?
So I have friends in Michigan and friends in Florida, and my son is in California, in San Diego. So the time zone change in Michigan and Florida is 4 hours, and the time zone change in California is 8. Yes. So for my son, if he'll sometimes call me when he gets up in the morning or when he's driving to work, because that's my evening. So that can be a little tricky. And my other friends, usually they're calling me, we try to set things up because a lot of my friends are still working. They can't call during the week often. So we'll chat on the weekends when they're calling me in the morning and it's my evening. So you guys don't have that issue talking to friends and family back home.
You're right. I mean, the point you make then, this really became clear to me this year, becoming friends with a lot more American people, is that the Brits, if they wanted to, they could be with their family this evening, couldn't they? They could just go to the airport, fly home, and do it the same time zone as well. And it's a whole lot easier. And I didn't, it's not within my experience, so I didn't really understand that. But I can see how difficult that might be. And also you're mentally in two different spaces as well, aren't you? If the person you're speaking to is just starting their day and you're just winding down, that perhaps needs to be taken into consideration as well. Is it helpful to schedule regular calls so there isn't a drift? Because out of sight is out of mind a little bit, isn't it? And that can cause a little bit of a space to occur between family and friends. Is scheduling important? So for a while with a larger group, we had scheduled regular calls, and it slipped a little bit, frankly. During COVID, we were all about it, right? We were there every week. That was the only contact we had. After that, I think coming here, it slipped a little bit. So now I'm kind of the one that says, hey guys, and we, get a call together now, probably once a month or so. And my son, there's just, no scheduling anything with my son. He's a very, fortunately, I'm lucky that he does call me as often as he does, but I better be sure I'm available,
because it
Even
just
though,
happens on the, you know.
even though you make him carry a purple suitcase, he's still calling you, which is fantastic. Anything
Yeah,
else?
I'm lucky.
Have you resorted to postcards, or there's an opening now, isn't there? I think for writing again, maybe. And that obviously depends on how good the Portuguese postal service is, which sometimes it's not. Mrs. M and I just received a parcel that was sent to us from the UK, I think in. And another one. I bought a case for a tablet for my children on eBay or Amazon, something like that, and I forgot about it. And they've already broken the tablet long ago. I think it was over a year ago, and that turned up at an old address of ours. So it can be a little bit difficult with the postal system. But have you thought of actually writing and sending postcards to people as well? I think that could be due for a comeback, a bit like vinyl.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I had to send sympathy cards to a friend, and trying to find English sympathy cards here was a challenge. So I actually went to some sort of event. There was a fair or something, and there was a lady selling English cards, and there were sympathy cards. I ended up buying them there. But I love to write, but now with email, it's so convenient that my writing goes on. If I come up with something I want to send my friends and they're asleep, I'll just send them an email that they can get in the morning and read it then. So yeah, writing hasn't come. And I have to tell you, the United States Post Office used to be impeccable. You could, and through snow or sleet or rain, they had this slogan. And boy, they don't say that anymore.
Right.
Because things are getting lost. Things are, not avoided sending anything to people.
Yeah. Well, maybe then email it is, and that's maybe why the postal situation is how it is, because people are resorting to other means. It's been wonderful to talk to you, because of course people can, if they don't get an email from you or a call, they can always watch your YouTube channel and find out how things are going on as well. Not many people have extended to that. So am I right? It's the Glenn and Glenda show, or the Glenda and Glenn show?
It's the Glenn and Glenda show.
Glenn and
he
Glenn
got first billing. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that? You have to speak to your agent about that, I think, Glenda.
I do. I'm going to have to speak to the agent.
Yes, and a few more things that are coming in. I think Pam has felt a little bit bad about. She sent me the most incredible picture, and I think I do need you to verify whether this is the thing you're talking about, because I'm not sure I would want this in my house, let alone in my lavatory here. Is this the object that you are trying to find in Portuguese shops that will be in your son's luggage?
Oh, good Lord, no.
What is that?
I don't know. That's scary.
that is scary. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure I should have shown that even. Okay. It's the club bar in Portugal. That's one for your list then, for eating out. It sounds like
great. That is absolutely the club bar and tapas. Believe me, we'll be there. Thank you, Paul.
Portugal, and that's the great chef, the legendary chef down there, Tiago Zeferino, and Bob. Morning, Bob and Viv, other YouTube sensations. It's a meeting of the YouTube sensations this morning. Bob and Viv in the north of Portugal. Bon dia. Back to your back workout, to Ian. I alternate lifting right arm and left leg and vice versa to encourage both sides of the brain for coordination. You weren't here for this bit, Glenda. This is the encouragement of people to lie on the floor and lift up their limbs like this, which can be a little bit awkward when you walk in on a partner or friend doing this, if they haven't explained to you already, or put a sign up. Don't worry, I'm just doing my exercises. Hello again, people. From Joao F. Had to go away for a while. My dog desperately needed my attention. That's a beautiful way of putting it. And sad to say, says Bob, I mailed my mum's birthday card back in August. International rate still hasn't arrived. So maybe not then. Not for things that need to arrive at a certain time. Guess what, Glenda? You can make loo bombs at home, which are brilliant. I don't suppose
I'm
you're
afraid that's what that is too.
Yes.
I finally learned what a loo is, but a loo bomb?
Loo bombs. Okay, Penny. Thank you very much for that. What? Says Bob, says Antonio to Bob there. Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? Although we use something called Touch Note, which you put together online. You can add your own photographs, and it is for us and family in the UK. It's actually, you generate the correspondence and add your own pictures online. It's turned into a postcard or a card, and then it's sent from the UK. So maybe there's something similar in the US where you can go online, create something online, and it's posted within the US.
Fun. Touch Note?
Touch Note, exactly. It's also in America, is it, Touch Note?
I've never heard of it.
Touch note, that's exactly what it is. And yes, so maybe that's worth trying. Then you only have to contend with one poor postal system. It is, what is this? It's an essential part of becoming integrated into Portugal. This is João responding to Pam. It's a choice. I totally agree. Not to mention that such a thought is very sweet of you. Thanks, says João F, our Portuguese friend here. Barandi, our whole family video chat with mum and dad every weekend. Look at that, for the last 17 years. That's admirable and wonderful, isn't it? They speak to me more than my brother who lives there. Now, there's an irony, because actually this is something we've talked about before when we've tried to deal with this situation. You can actually rekindle and strengthen friendships, can't you? And family bonds by making the effort in a way you might not have done if you still lived in America.
Yes, I've actually been surprised. I talk to my son more now than I did when I was across the U.S. and he was in California. I don't know why. I think he feels, and it's all because he's the one that starts these conversations. I think it's because he misses me, and it's kind of nice.
Yeah, so it can turn out well. Okay, the mystery is being resolved here. It places a disc in the toilet bowl. I thought that was what she said. I think we're at cross purposes here, and we're talking about different toilet technology.
Oh.
That is otherworldly, Pam. But thank you very much for bringing that into our consciousness.
My contraption actually has a little thing, a disc that snaps onto it, and then you use that to scrub the toilet. It doesn't inject it into the toilet.
Yes, I mean this looks like a highly technological thing that Elon Musk might come up with for cleaning your industry. I think there, although it's in a nice Twitter blue as well. Coincidentally, yes. I send cards from an online personalized card company in the country they're going to. So there you go. That will be the touch note technology that we're talking about. Fantastic. Well, Glenda, thank you so much for being here this morning. Is there anything else you would like to share with us, or anything you want to ask of us as a community that you're missing, that's not quite fallen into place?
No, I just have to say it was wonderful to be on the show. Thank you. And I love the different topics that everything from the dads and dudes to everything that you cover. I went and watched some of the past shows. I think it's really a great thing you're supplying for us expats.
Oh, thank you. That's really kind of you. And right back at you with your channel and how you've hit the ground running in the world of YouTube. Where are you up to now in terms of subscribers and views?
Oh my gosh. So our views were over 80,000 and we've only been on a month, and our subscribers are about 2,400, I think right now, 2,500, somewhere around there.
Congratulations. Well done. That's an unexpected little turn up for the books, isn't it? With your Portuguese
adventure. I'm waiting for the call from Good Morning America so they can fly me back to the US and I can do this.
Yes. And why not? Why not? Oh, Shirley, just an extra thing here. I use this for special occasions. It's relatively cheap to sign up and lots of different cards. So that's the good old Jackie Lawson. My mum uses that as well. So Jackie Lawson.
Well, thank you, Shirley. Yeah, that's
thank you for being here, Shirley, and thank you for suggesting that. So yeah, all the very best to you in your new life. And do come back, won't you? At some point. You have a key to the studio, so do come back whenever you
appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. All the best to you, and love to Glenn. All right. See ya. Have a great day. There she goes. There's Glenda of the Glenn and Glenda show, everybody, which you can subscribe to on YouTube. Talking of Dougie, let's play. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. I could have done some dad jokes with Glenda there. We'll come back to the dad jokes. We'll just do them, just you and me, all right, and see if you can sit in a room giggling on your own again. And the deep thoughts of the day, we'll come back to those as well after we've watched a 2-minute taster. I've also got some processionary caterpillars for you. I found a video I took whilst out walking the dogs of processionary caterpillars, and I've turned it into a little bit of a vid as well, which I'll share with you this morning. Okay, let's play Dougie's his latest 2-minute taster that kind of prefaces his current tour to Portugal. Over to you, Douglas.
Well, it's another grey old day in Wales, and this is the scene at the marina not too far from where I live. Well, my heart is filled with a little bit of joy because in a few hours' time I'll be flying out towards the Algarve. This is Carnarvon, and you might just be able to make out, yep, it's raining. Carnarvon's actually a lovely little town, weather aside, of course, and it poses me a perfect opportunity to go and get some, well, what I call beer tokens. this is where I have to ask the nice lady if I can have some euros. Yippee!
That's a funky little tune there, isn't it? Thank you very much, Doug, for that. Currently in Qatar, as we heard, eating plastic cheese to start his day. Oh, we've been sent cormorants on the Rio Lima this week. Thank you for that. I'll see if I can bring that to the screen. If not today, then tomorrow. And we also have, I want to have a look at the Portugal news, because that's where you'll see the piece that Glenda's been working on, of course, correspondence from Dougie as well. Both writers for the Portugal news. We only have the best guests here for you, YouTube sensations and Portugal news columnists. Let's have a look at their front page in just a moment, but not until we have a quick look at the dad jokes that we missed yesterday and the deep thoughts of the day. So forgive me for not doing these yesterday. They are worthy of inclusion this morning. Okay, where are they? It was Tuesday, wasn't it? The 8th of November yesterday. And where's it gone? It's disappeared now. Oh, here we go. All right, deep thought then. A clever person, this is a Chinese proverb that I missed out yesterday that I think needs to be included this morning. A clever person turns great troubles into little ones, and little ones into none at all. A deep thought of the day then, Chinese proverb. Portuguese saying of the day yesterday was, quem com ferro ferra, com ferro será ferido. I'm going to cut and paste this into the chats, because we have been reminded, have we not, about the importance of learning Portuguese, and we hope we're doing our bit to help with that. So there you go. Oh, sorry, I missed the cue out. Quem com ferro ferra, com ferro será ferido. Who hurts with iron will be hurt. Live by the sword, die by the sword, basically, in Portuguese there. Hugh Nunu for you today. Again, I will copy and paste it into the chat so that you can see this for yourselves as well. Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan, I love that name, is said to have led the first expedition to circumnavigate the globe. So often we hear about Vasco da Gama, don't we? And not so much perhaps about Henry the Navigator and Ferdinand Magellan. But Ferdinand Magellan is said to have led the first expedition to circumnavigate the globe. Dad jokes then that left over from yesterday, and aren't dad jokes always left over from yesterday and the day before that? You don't need a parachute. This one I had to think about, okay? You don't need a parachute to go skydiving. You need a parachute to go skydiving twice. Think about that. Little pithy poignancy there in the form of a dad joke. Why do police arrive early to riots? This one is a little bit, but why do police arrive early to riots? To beat the crowd. Hey, and my doctor told me my DNA was backwards. I replied, and? There you go. Thank you, T-Duck, for those. Let's take a quick look at the Portugal news front page, shall we? And have a look at what that's being said over there. You can, of course, as I said, see the writings of Doug Hughes and, of course, our guest this morning, Glenda, from the Glenn and Glenda show. Let me find that page for you. Okay, homepage of Portugal's national, what do they call it? Portugal's national English-speaking newspaper, I think, the portugalnewsden.com. And I'll bring it onto the screen, and let's have a little look through here as well. There's some earthquake training. Why? Euro Millions rolls over again, and nobody managed to hit the jackpot on this Tuesday's Euro Millions draw. So now the top prize now grows to 30 million euros. this coming Friday. That's fresh up onto the homepage of the Portugal News. Is it Black Friday this week? Seeing Black Friday ads there. Trains between Portugal and Spain are the worst in recent decades. What does that mean? The quality of the rolling stock, or the timing, or the availability, I wonder. And the best place to live in Portugal is, you can't not click on that, can you? Let's have a quick look then to see what they're saying. And the best, oh look, Lagoa. Did Dougie mention that this morning? Lagoa in the Algarve has been awarded the title of the best municipality to live in Portugal. Who says this? Study carried out by the Institute of Behavioural Technology, the INTEC, the INTEC, gave the municipality of Lagoa the best score in the areas of tourism, welfare and safety, diversity and tolerance. 3 of the 10 categories analysed in the study, quality of life in the best municipalities to live in, carried out through surveys of thousands of citizens and presented by researcher Miguel Lopes, coordinator of the work at the Faculty of Law of University of Coimbra, the FDUC. The study carried out by the Institute also analyzes the domains of environment, economy and employment, education and training, identity, culture and leisure. Who knew? Mobility and road safety, health and urbanism and housing considered determinants to calculate the quality of life in each territory. So Lagoa has it then. Is the mayor going to respond to that? Yes, he is. Luis Encarnação, mayor of Lagoa, said it is a distinction that makes all Lagoenses proud, and that is attributed to our municipality a few months after its 250th anniversary. Well, they have been practicing for a long time then. It is undoubtedly an early gift, and it is a very important distinction for a municipality that lives essentially on tourism. Thank you very much, Mayor Encarnação there, and well done. Congratulations on your municipality winning the best place to live in Portugal. Excellent stuff. Well done, Lagoa. Let's have a look at this. Continue to have a look at the T-Duck pointed this out to us. The Lisbon tornado captured on film. That's exciting, isn't it? So you can see that at the portugalnews.com. Heavy rain weather warning, I think. Given that it's been the other way around recently, where people have been saying to me, oh, it's nice and sunny here in Lisbon or the Algarve, and it's been soggy and wet here in San Martino. It's the other way around today. It's shaping up for a lovely day for the meetup 1 till 3. Bohemia, not at Palmera. He's shut for a refurb. So we'll see a few of you this lunchtime, I hope. Salary increase, not enough for the Portuguese. Well, it wouldn't be, would it? Rising from €705 to about $750 in the minimum wage. Let's see what we can do to pay Portuguese people their due and increase those wages. That is definitely an area for improvement, isn't it, in Portugal, that wages go up for people. Mercedes-Benz.io recruiting in Lisbon. What does that mean, I wonder? And look at this. Exercício Público. This looks like a God Squad tip of the day. The earthquake simulation. And what is this? Is this telling you what to do? Yes, civil protection. This was published an hour ago. Civil protection will be undertaking today at 11:09. Why 11:09? And you should know about this, I think, if you're in an area where you might hear a siren. A public exercise to prepare for an earthquake during an action which will last for 1 minute and requires people to drop, cover, and hold on, which will be baijar, proteger, e aguarda. Now, what this looks like to me, if you don't mind me saying so, is that actually people transform into rabbits during this process. An exercise, the exercise, a terra trem, is organized every year by the National Emergency and Civil Protection Authority, the ANEPC, in collaboration with various public and private entities, and aims to help the population to know how to act in the event of an earthquake. With this initiative, ANEPC intends to inform the population about what they should do before, during, and after an earthquake, especially what preventive measures and self-protection behaviors to adopt. According to ANEPC, the exercise comprises performing 3 simple gestures that can make a difference to those who practice them in the event of an earthquake. And here, my friends, is what you need to do should you find yourself in that unfortunate situation. You drop to the floor. You protect yourself by covering your head and perhaps making your way to under the nearest table. And then it looks like you transform into a rabbit by the end of that. But in all seriousness, if you do feel that you are in an earthquake area, which we are, let's face it, in Portugal, it may be worth bearing that in mind. Baijar, proteger e aguardar. There you go. A quick look there at the Portugal News headlines. We'll be back tomorrow with the wonderful Katia Lima, Beyond Lisbon's Katia Lima, and she's got a few indie picks for us and some very exciting features that she's been carefully considering for your delight and appreciation tomorrow. And of course,
For the Man of Friday.
on the Friday, I'm going to say goodbye this morning, and I'll come back. We've got Choo Choos are in season. Thank you very much for that picture. So we'll display for your delight cormorants and Choo Choos tomorrow. It's like animal, vegetable, mineral, isn't it, tomorrow? And we do have Serious Face, which I will present to you at the end of the show, in the many faces of Marcus, and learning Portuguese through facial expressions. But before then, processionary caterpillars. Oh, a couple of comments, I think. Thanks for a great show. Have a wonderful hump day, says Francis. And that pic reminds me of a nuclear attack training I had in the school in the 1960s. Well, thank God you didn't have to put it into action, Bob, eh? And unfortunately is now an ad in New York City. How sad that is. And thankfully you didn't have to use that, and hopefully nobody ever will. A terra trem, the earth shakes. A terra trem there. Thank you very much for that. Oh, and yes, Ferdinand Magellan, Fernão de Magalhães in Portuguese, did that on behalf of the Kingdom of Castile. Thank you very much. Appreciate that input there, Antonio F. Have a great day, everybody. Here's some processionary caterpillars for you. Ciao, ciao. Bye for now. Abraços, beijinhos. Well, bon dia. Just out for a walk with the dogs. And look what I found. Look down beneath my feet. I nearly jumped because there's a processionary caterpillar. And if we look, you can see all of it going, or can you? Yeah, can you see that line there? That's all of it there. Quite amazing. So there's the front, the guy at the front. And I've never seen one of these before in Portugal, but a little bit hesitant because they're not great for dogs, but you just about make that line out, and I would say it's over a meter long, this guy. This procession is over a meter long and just making his way. I don't know, why did the processionary caterpillars cross the road? The big question that remains this morning.
Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.